The Lance Maiden, Leanne Sandlot.
The legends weren't far off.
Indeed. She's more beautiful than any legend or painting could replicate. I'm sure the same could be said of her skill with a lance.
Yes, I expect much from your Crimson Blade as well. Now, let us both use our full strength.
Hey everyone, this is Nitro. In this video, I have a very interesting clip for you to view where it shows how having a fully upgraded training ground and maxing the buffs on the character can sometimes be detrimental rather than a good thing. So this is a battle from BGuy, and we'll jump in and get started. So the pick ban phase is very standard for both sides. BGuy runs this unique, more single target oriented box. His opponent is running a very traditional box by comparison with a lot of AoE attackers, Claret, Rainforce, and so on and so forth. The surprise here is it's a bit lacking in faction buffs, but I guess that's why he's brought Sophia in it. So let's get started. So Juggler ban and Juggler ban for both sides. Landius pick, of course, and then Illustrial and Deedlit are banned. For BGuy plays his remaining tank Estelle. So Joshua and Ares are now banned on BGuy side, and Claret is played. Next, Waller and Leanna are banned, and Arianrod is played as his second pick. So Zerda and Yusuke now get banned, with his opponent picking Zerda next. So both Zerda and Landius can faction buff up Claret here. Ares and Sophia now removed, with Gizaroth being played for BGuy, so faction buff for Arianrod. So Bozol and Licorice are now banned, people who would also benefit from that faction buff, and Rachel is played. So very Yeles Legends oriented box. Finally, Arianrod and Reen are banned, so he actually has no healers at this point, right? It's just, well, I guess you can say Rachel is kind of a healer, but just a combat healer. And BGuy plays Imelda. And finally, Luna, Renata banned, and the pick there is Bozol. So 2 dark characters and 3 Yeles Legends characters. And BGuy plays Iris last. So player 1 has a very offensively oriented box, whereas BGuy has a box based around AoE strikes, with 3 characters who can AoE, Imelda who can buff up mobility and regrowth in single target, and Iris to teleport and heal and so on. So the initial move is, of course, activating the buff for everybody with oh my gosh, with Estelle. And then next, after the buff from Estelle, the Enduring Hope, faction buff from Gizaroth to buff up Arianrod further. So let's just continue to take a look at this. So Zerda activates her Bloodthirsty now. And Imelda casts Queen's Whip on Arianrod. So Queen's Whip does damage to the character. And since it does damage, this means that Arianrod triggers her Steel Maiden effect. So she took damage, but Steel Maiden is now triggered, meaning she gets the first stack, the buff on herself. So with this, she also gets the +2 mobility buff from Imelda. So we see that she's now at 7 mobility. Clearly, this Arianrod has 4 mobility, it has Apex boots. So 4 mobility plus 2 more from the mobility buff means 6. 6 plus 1 from Steel Maiden means 7 in total. So that's how Arianrod has 7 mobility already. And now, of course, player 1, faction buffs. And this is where it gets interesting. Arianrod gets teleported for by Iris. So right now we see Arianrod has a ridiculous number of buffs. There's the skill increase from Estelle's Enduring Hope, the faction buff from Gizarov. She has Queen's Whip from Imelda. She has also Mobility +2 from Imelda. She has Iris's buff of ignoring terrain penalties, damage taken reduced by 20%, and damage dealt increased by 20%. And now she charges forward in single target strikes, doing tons of damage to Landius. And this is where it gets hilarious. Arianrod did not get to act again here. Okay? She did not get knocked below the 70% hit point threshold. Look at this. The Zealots are at 40% hit points. So 6 of them died out of the 10 Zealots. She herself took no damage. And if you add this up, I'll have the breakdown in the video description, so refer to that. But she is at 71.8% hit points right now. Which is not below 70%. So she did not get to act again. So the Zealots just absolutely tanked everything because of all the damage reduction, all the stat buffs that they got. Right? Iris's damage taken reduction is 20%. There was another 5% damage reduction from the Steel Maiden talent. And Zealot Training Ground tech also reduces damage taken by 30%. So these Zealots had a 55% damage reduction effect, and that's why she stayed so healthy. And because she stayed so healthy, Rachel launches out a single target strike. Down goes Arianrod. Battle is over. Just like that. If she had gotten to act again, it would have been a different story. But since she didn't get to act again, ouch. And so BGuy runs away. Just like that. So, interesting battle, right? Were there things that he could have done? I mean, this was because once again, his training ground is 70%, 70%, 70%, 70%. It's like maxed out. And also, a huge part of that was this tech, Holy Light Protection, where as long as the Holy and Mage hit points is 100%, damage taken is reduced by 30%. So that's what kept all those Zealots alive. The very interesting thing there is if his Arianrod had slightly more hit points, he just needed a bit more, then he would have been below 70%, and that would have triggered the act again. So clearly he needs to change up his enchant somehow to get more hit points. But this was an entertaining battle to watch simply because of exactly what happened there. And that's it for now. So I guess this is a video of how not to use Arianrod. Thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you found this video interesting, useful, or entertaining. And on that note, Nitro out.